just watch the previous stream that we have. You can get the links on the Critter app, or you can also get it on the YouTube. So if you are on the YouTube, you can get it on YouTube as well. So the link will be there for the all the previous streams. It will be like 30 minutes video that we have. So we do a 30-minute sessions every day, and we talk about the basic concept of the crypto market, like how crypto market has started and how we should learn about these things. Okay. And in our today's topic, we are going to cover the symmetric and asymmetric cryptography. Okay. So let's get started. So I guess you all are new. So let me tell you few things before we move to our symmetric and asymmetric cryptography. Okay. So let me tell you what exactly the cryptography is all about. Okay. So cryptography is a method that is used to hide the data that is written inside a message. Okay. Let's say if I want to send a message to Pushpak. Okay. And in that case, there are two ways that by which I can send that particular message to Pushpak. Either I can send direct, I can send a normal message which is not encoded, which means it is just a normal text message, like a plain text, which I will send to Pushpak, and Pushpak will able to read it. It's like it will be a normal message that will be sent from me to Pushpak. That is the one way of sending the message. The second way of sending the message is the encoded way, which means first I will encode that particular message, I will encrypt that message, and then I will send it to Pushpak, and then Pushpak has to decrypt the message to read it. So this is called the encryption method that is used to hide the data that can be hacked. Okay, which means it is like you want to send a data that need certain security. Okay, mostly it is used in the banks. Okay, so if you go and do any transaction inside the banks, they use all the banks uses a secure transactions for doing the transactions between you and the like between the bank and the receiver, or between the bank and the customers which they have. Okay, so that there is no data fraud that may happen on the ecosystem. Okay, that's why we need a secure channel. Okay, so if you have seen and if you have done any Bitcoin, if you've done any bank transaction, there you might be seeing one thing written called 128-bit encryption, which means this particular channel array is encoded with 128-bit encryption method, which means that they have used an algo to encrypt the transaction that is going to happen between you and the bank, which means it is secure channel, which means nobody can track the information that is going to be sent from you and to the bank. That is how this whole mechanism work. Okay, so cryptography is just a method for doing the encryption of the data so that we can keep our data secure. Okay, and this method is used by, like, this is a very old method used by like Roman empires. Like the Roman empires, they started using this cryptography method of long back. Okay, now it's become a very popular because we have seen a lot of data hack that has happened in the ecosystem, and that's why people introduce different types of cryptography mechanism so that they can safeguard the data for the people. Okay, so if you talk, now let's talk about our today's topic, that is what are the different type of cryptography mechanism that we have. Okay, so there are two types of cryptography mechanism that we have. We call them as symmetric and asymmetric cryptography. Okay, so symmetric and asymmetric cryptography are two types of cryptography mechanism that are used to encode the data so that data can be secured between the two parties. Okay, now let's understand this cryptography mechanism one by one. Okay, so let's talk about symmetric cryptography first. Before we move, let me know if you are able to understand till now or not. You can just type it down so that I get to know that you are understanding the things or not. Okay, the first thing which we are going to talk about is this symmetric cryptography. Okay, symmetric cryptography. Symmetric cryptography. This is the first way of encoding the data. Now what is symmetric cryptography? Okay, if I give you an example, okay, let's say you and your friend is living in a house. Okay, now your friend has gone to his office. Now you are alone at your house, and you have to leave the house for certain task. Okay, in that case, what you have to do, like, you have to lock the room so that nobody can thief anything from your house. So you have only one key which can be used for locking and unlocking to for that particular house. Okay, which means there can be only one key that can be used for locking and unlocking to your house. Okay, now your friend is not at your home, so you have to lock the house and then you will leave for your work. But if your friend returns between that particular point of time, he needs the same key uh, to unlock the system, because that can only be done because he can't unlock it with different key, because you have only one key to unlock or lock and unlock the system, like, to the house. Okay, so which means in symmetric key cryptography we have only one key that will be used for locking the system, locking the message, and the same key will be used for unlocking the message, which means you will have only one key to perform the task. Okay, now you might ask that if you the example which we are talking about, in that example, okay, your friend might like, he might create a duplicate key. Okay, because that is a one possibility that he might do. Okay, which means if your friends come the before you, in that case he can easily he can go to a locksmith and he can get a duplicate key, and he can use a duplicate key to open the lock. Okay, so that can be one case that can happen, but in real time, but in when and but if we look at the network security purpose, let's say कि this is not a method that people can apply over here, which means nobody can create a duplicate key when it comes to a network security purpose. Okay, so अगर हम इस factor को निकाल दें कि कोई duplicate key नहीं बना पाएगा, in that case you have only one method to lock and unlock your message, that is the primary key that will be required for unlocking and locking your message. Okay, which means when it comes to symmetric key cryptography, in symmetric key cryptography we need the same key for locking the message and for unlocking the message. Okay, and this kind of cryptography mechanism is also known as the private key cryptography. तो symmetric key cryptography को हम लोग private key cryptography भी बोलते हैं. Okay, so symmetric key cryptography is also known as the symmetric key cryptography. Cryptography is also known as the is also known as the private key cryptography. Okay, private key cryptography. जो आपकी so symmetric key cryptography जो होती है, it is also known as the private key cryptography. So which means symmetric key cryptography is also known as the private key cryptography because it has only one key to lock and unlock the message. Okay, so if somebody asks you what is symmetric key cryptography, you can easily tell them the symmetric key cryptography is a kind of cryptography is a kind of cryptography is a kind of cryptography where you need one key to lock, and which means lock or unlock, or which where you can need one key to encrypt and decrypt the message. So let's say if any message that is written, that need to be encrypted, and for that you need the same key, and for decrypting the same message you need the same key to decrypt the message. Okay, that is what this symmetric key cryptography is all about. Okay, let me know if you are able to understand symmetric key cryptography. समझ में आई आपको कि what is symmetric key cryptography? If you don't understand, let me know. I will try to explain it once more time. Yeah, it is little complex, but the simple, अगर simple language में बात करें तो अगर आपके पास में एक की है, that one key will be used for both the purpose. Like अगर आप उसको lock करते हैं message को, तो that same key will be used for locking the message and same key will be used for the unlocking the message. Okay, which means it is a one key method. ठीक है, ये symmetric key cryptography की, जैसे कि अगर आपके पास में अगर घर में ताला लगा दिया है, तो for अगर उस घर में अगर आपको वापस जाना है तो उसके लिए आपके पास एक ही चाबी है जिससे आप उस ताले को खोल सकते हो, उस ताले को बंद कर सकते हो। तो दैट इज सिमेट्रिक की क्रिप्टोग्राफी। ओके, ठीक है। सो ये मेथड क्यों यूज किया था, व्हाई डू वी नीड दिस सिमेट्रिक की क्रिप्टोग्राफी? ओके, सो रीजन इज वेरी सिंपल। ओके, दिस मेथड्स आर यूज सो दैट वी कैन keep our data secure. Okay, it can be the banking transaction which you want to secure. It can be the let's say you want to send some important informations to your friends, that for that you need to use the symmetric cryptography. It can be used as WhatsApp. So if you go to WhatsApp, okay, in WhatsApp you also see something called end-to-end encryption. Okay, that is again a cryptography method that is used by the WhatsApp as well. So WhatsApp में भी आपको ये end-to-end encryption देखने को मिलता है, that is used for the same thing कि आपका मैसेज सिक्योर रहे। ओके, नाउ हाउ दिस विल हैपन, अगर हम इसको प्रैक्टिकली समझें तो लेट्स से यू वांट, लेट्स से आई वांट टू, सो आई, माय नेम इज हिमांशु, सो आई वांट टू सेंड अ मैसेज हेलो। ओके, आई वांट टू सेंड दिस मैसेज टू लेट्स से Abhishek. So I want to send this message to Abhishek. Okay, now Abhishek is the receiver, I am the sender. I want to send hello to Abhishek. So what will happen in the case of symmetric key cryptography, which means let's say there is a, so what will happen first? Okay, so there is a message called hello. Now to encrypt this message we need a key. So let's say there is a key called K. So there is a key which is K. Now what will happen, this K key will be used to encrypt this hello message into a cipher text. Okay, so which means this message which I am sending, it will be converted into cipher text using this key called K. Okay, so now it is an encrypted message. Okay, the cipher text which you, whatever cipher text you will get, it will be a encrypted message. इसको cipher text भी बोल सकते हैं, या फिर इसको simple बोले तो it is will be a encrypted message. encrypted message encrypted message। तो ये हमने एक हेलो भेजा, हेलो को उसने, हेलो के को encrypt करने के लिए we need a key, that key is K. Now what K will do, it will encrypt the message and convert into cipher text, that will also known as the encrypted message. Now this encrypted message will be sent to the Abhishek. Okay, now Abhishek will be receiving a encrypted message which is cipher text, that so it can be anything like hello can convert into alphanumeric, पासवर्ड टाइप का बन जाएगा, इट कैन बी एनीथिंग, इट कैन बी लाइक लेट्स से एनक्रिप्टेड मैसेज यहाँ पे जो बना है वो हमारा बन गया, देयर इज एन एनक्रिप्टेड मैसेज दैट इज this is your encrypted message that is created by after using this key. So after this key we got this encrypted message. Now now Abhishek will not understand कि ये message क्या है, because it is encrypted message. Now Abhishek need to decrypt this message. Now again what Abhishek will do, Abhishek will need that same key, that is K, to decrypt this message, this what is sent. Okay, which means the cipher text that is sent, it will be again converted into a normal text, normal text to Abhishek. Okay, so now that normal text will be again hello, which we have sent, which it is a decrypted message again. Okay, so this is how the process will work. Okay, so मैंने एक मैसेज भेजा hello. First that hello message will be encrypted with a key called K. So it will convert into cipher text, which is known as an encrypted message. Let's say encrypted message is this. Okay, now to decrypt this message, Abhishek needs the same key. So the same key will be the K, and this key will be he will use the same key to unlock the message, and he will read the original message what is written. So this is how the process will work. Okay, this is how symmetric key cryptography work. Okay, same logic used by messaging encryptions. Yeah, approximately the same things are used. Okay, so there are different types of encryption methods that are used. So let me tell you, there are so when it comes to encryption methods, so there are different types of encryption techniques that we have. Okay, so there are two types of encryption techniques that are used. Okay, so there are two types of encryption techniques. That is not very, so we don't need to learn these things, but if you want I can give you the types, what are two types. Okay, so because it is very deep thing that is not required to learn if you want to grow into the blockchain space, but if you have the idea it will be very helpful for you. Okay, so there are two types of encryption that we have. We call it them there is one is called stream cipher. Okay, that is the first encryption method, and then we have something called block cipher. So we have two types of encryption methods that are used. Okay, stream cipher and block cipher, these are the two types of encryptions. Okay, इन स्ट्रीम साइफर व्हाट हैपेंस, लेट्स से इन स्ट्रीम साइफर में क्या होता है कि इन स्ट्रीम साइफर लेट्स से देयर इज मैसेज कॉल्ड हेलो. Okay, so here what will happen, this hello will be encrypted into like encrypted by one, which means your h will encrypt, let's say h will be encrypted to 1, e will be encrypted to 3, L will be encrypted to dollar, and another L will be encrypted with let's say another encrypted with hash, O will be encrypted with your O will be encrypted with 0, which means here will be also in stream cipher what happens, your every variable will, which means bit by bit encryption happens, which means one bit will be encrypted with one bit and one bit will be encrypted with another bit, which means bit by bit encryption will happen in stream cipher. कि अगर एक हमने वर्ड यूज किया है तो एक वर्ड के अंदर जो हर लेटर होगा वो एक एक लेटर करके उसका इंक्रिप्शन होगा, which means it will be a bit by bit encryption. Okay, which means it's called one bit, which means one bit or one byte का encryption होगा, which means one bit or one byte encryption will happen in case of stream cipher. मतलब एक एक वर्ड का encryption होता है, that is called stream cipher. Okay, which means this is called stream cipher where bit by bit encryption we see. Okay, this is called bit by bit encryption. Okay, but when we say block cipher, in block cipher what will happen, the complete message will be distributed in blocks and the block will be encrypted. Okay, so let's say you have written a message, oh, hello, I am Himanshu. Okay, so what will happen in that case, in block cipher it will be converted into a block segments. It can be of fixed size, which means let's say we are creating a block of 3 words. Okay, so 3 words will be converted into a block. Okay, so first block will have HEL, next block will have LOI. Okay, and then next block will have AMH. So this means three words, three letters ka block will be converted, and then this block will be converted to ciphertext, and this is how block cipher will work. Okay, so these are two types of encryption techniques that we that are used. Okay, if you ask the example of for ciphertext, so stream cipher के तो example है RC4. तो RC4 is an algorithm that is this algo uses the stream cipher tactic for encrypting the data. And then there is one more for block cipher, the AES or DES algos are used. These algos uses the block cipher tactic for encrypting the data. RC4 algo uses the stream cipher tactic for encrypting the data. Okay, so this is how different types of encryption methods are there, and these are the algos which are using this tactic to encrypt the data and decrypt the data. Okay, so this is how this encryption decryption things happen. Okay, let me know if you are able to understand these things or not. Okay, अभी आपको ये समझ में आ गया ना इनक्रिप्शन टाइप्स कितने टाइप्स के होते हैं. वी हैव टू टाइप्स ऑफ इनक्रिप्शंस, वन इज स्ट्रीम साइफर, वन इज ब्लॉक साइफर. स्ट्रीम साइफर में एक एक वर्ड का इनक्रिप्शन होता है. ब्लॉक साइफर में ब्लॉक मतलब कि किसी भी सेंटेंस को ब्लॉक्स में डिवाइडेड कर देते हैं, फिर उस ब्लॉक्स का इनक्रिप्शन होता है. तो लेट्स से हमने कोई भी वर्ड लिखा, इट विल बी डिवाइडेड इनटू मल्टीपल ब्लॉक्स एंड देन एवरी ब्लॉक विल बी इनक्रिप्टेड. एंड फॉर एग्जांपल ऑफ ब्लॉक साइफर आर AES एंड DES एल्गो, और स्ट्रीम साइफर के एग्जांपल है RC4 एल्गो. दीज आर द एल्गोस दैट आर यूज्ड टू इनक्रिप्ट द डेटा. Okay, and this is the example of symmetric cryptography. Okay, so symmetric key cryptography, you understood what is the types of encryption. Let's talk about few problems that we might face. Okay, now let's talk about the problems. Okay, so what will be the problems now? See, here in symmetric key cryptography we have only one key. Symmetric key cryptography we have only one key. Now the major problem that we face in symmetric key cryptography is like how to send this key to the receiver. अब ये key receiver के पास कैसे जाएगी? This is a problematic thing. Okay, because you can't send this key with the message. Okay, so let's say if you're sending hello, so आप hello के साथ में ये key नहीं भेज सकते हो क्योंकि हमारी key क्या कहती है K. So which means you can't send hello with K. Okay, which means with your message you can't send your private key. Okay, so if you send your private key with your message, in that case anybody can hack it because you are sending it through the message. Second way, you can directly give it to him, but it will take time कि आप उसको डायरेक्टली जाकर बता के आओ कि ये की है और इस की से आपको ये डेटा अनलॉक करना है. That is the second method, which means you have to give key to the person directly. Again, for giving this key, you have the same method. Either you will email him, आप उसको email करके बताओगे भाई this is the key and by this key you can encode them, you can decode the message. Okay, so this is again a problematic thing. So in symmetric key cryptography, that is the biggest challenge that we have, is like how to share that key with the receiver, because that is the biggest problem that we face in the symmetric key cryptography. Okay, now to solve this problem of key sharing, there is a technique that is used called Diffie-Hellman. Okay, so there is technique called Diffie-Hellman. This is a technique that is used. This is a technique technique that is used to share the key between users and between sender and receiver, between sender and in receiver in case of symmetric key cryptography. Okay, so if you are doing symmetric key cryptography, उसके लिए जो की शेयरिंग के लिए जो टेक्निक यूज की जाती है, उस टेक्निक का नाम होता है Diffie-Hellman. दिस इज अ टेक्निक दैट इज यूज्ड फॉर सेंडिंग एंड रिसीविंग द data between to encoding and decoding the data between the sender and receiver. Okay, so this is all about the symmetric key cryptography. Now let's talk about few advantages of the symmetric key cryptography, because if few things, let's say if things have if we have certain problems, we have certain advantages that we also have. Okay, now symmetric key cryptography is easy to use, is one of the easiest and fastest cryptography technique. It is one of the easiest and fastest cryptography technique. Okay, easiest and fastest cryptography technique. This is the one feature. Okay, technique. So one, if you when you compare with the other type, that is the asymmetric key cryptography, when you compare asymmetric key cryptography or one-way hashing cryptography, the symmetric key cryptography is one of the fastest cryptography that we have. Okay, also this is the, and also this cryptography gives you better performance. Okay, because it is fast. Okay, so you can easily convert your data, like if you are sending a large number of data, it can be easily converted into ciphertext and can easily be sent to the users or to the receiver, and he can easily convert into the like original text and can read it, which means it is fast, easy, and it give you better performance. Okay, also it is easy to implement. Okay, because easier to implement, so that is again a benefit that we get, easier to implement. Okay, so it is easy, one of the easiest and fastest cryptography, easier to implement in any kind of ecosystem. You can easy to implement, and that's why most of the if you look at the most of the banks or most of the mobile company apps, like whenever in any social media apps that are there in the market, they mostly use the symmetric key cryptography, because it is easy, fast, better performance, and it is easy to implement in any ecosystem. And that's why most, if you look at banks, in banks you see 128 bit. So this cryptography can be of different type. It can be a 30, it can be a 64 bit. Okay, yeah, like 48 bit, 64 bit, 128 bit of 120 or 256 bit of cryptography. So it can be different types of cryptography can be done, which means या तो जब वो मैसेज इनक्रिप्ट होगा, इट कैन बी अ 48 बिट का वो मैसेज बनेगा या 64 बिट का मैसेज बनेगा. तो आप कितना भी बड़ा मैसेज लिखोगे, जब वो इनक्रिप्ट हो जाएगा तो इट कैन बी अ 48 बिट का बनेगा वो मैसेज, या 64 बिट का बन सकता है, या 128 बिट का बन सकता है, या 265 बिट का बन सकता है. ठीक है, इसका मतलब क्या होता है, which means if we have implemented a cryptography which is 265 bit, which means to solve that problem, अगर उस प्रॉब्लम को हमको सॉल्व करना है, in that case we have to, let's say if somebody using this brute force method, तो brute force method is a method that is used टू हैक द सिस्टम. तो ब्रूट फोर्स मैसेज बहुत सारे लोग यूज करते हैं किसी सिस्टम को हैक करने के लिए. ठीक है, अगर आपको सिस्टम हैक करना है तो उसके लिए आप ब्रूट फोर्स मेथड यूज करते हो. कि अगर वहां पर लिखा हुआ है कि दिस मशीन इज encoded by 265 bit, which means if you compare, if you want to hack that system, in that case you have to try to the power 265 256. So you have to try to the power 256 times of numbers. मतलब इतना बार आपको उसको यूज करना पड़ेगा, नंबर्स को लिखना पड़ेगा, जैसे 000111222, तो ऐसा करके आपको उसको यूज करना पड़ेगा to the power 256 टाइम तब आप जाकर के उसको हैक कर पाओगे। दैट इज व्हाट दिस 256 और 648 बिट मींस, मतलब कि 2 की पावर 48, अगर 48 बिट का है तो 2 की पावर 48, इतना टाइम आपको वेट, इतना मतलब इतने नंबर आपको चेक करने पड़ेंगे, देन ओनली यू कैन हैक द सिस्टम। ओके, इट इज 256 which means 2 the power 256 टाइम you have to check the numbers, then only you can hack the system, which means इतने नंबर आपको यूज करने पड़ेंगे अगर आपको सिस्टम हैक करना है। What is steganography? I guess that is let steganography. Okay, so this is also a technique of hiding the data, but this is an ordinary method of hiding the data, which means it is not like normal methods that most of the people use. So like uh, so when we say cryptography, cryptography के अंदर we use multiple techniques to hide the data, and it is one of the like if you compare steganography or cryptography, so cryptography में the data is hidden by using the like the complex process, so it will be a complex process of hiding the data. Steganography like normal process, so steganography can be ऐसे हो सकती है जैसे कि let's say uh, uh, you have you have you have you're sending message called hello. What you can do, you can reverse it. So when you are sending to somebody, it can be OLL, like instead of hello it will be OLLEH, which means you have reversed the hello. So that can be like you have normally encoded it, which means hello. If somebody, if you can tell somebody that to read the message, you have to rewrite that message from backward to forward. Okay, then only you can then only you can decode the message. So it can be normal method of encrypting the data, which means you just tell the users, so this is the message which I'm sending. If you want to read that message, you have to read it from the backward, then only you can then only you can understand what is written inside the message. Okay, that is what the normal method of encrypting the data. Okay, but when it comes to cryptography, it's like it can be the different technique that are used. Okay, it can be like if you are in 48 bit or 265 246 bit or 256 bit of like cryptography, which means that will be that will give you complex numbers. Like if you look at the example, okay, so what is, so this is the example which I have given. Okay, so if you look at the example, okay, this is the what, this is the message which you will get. Now if anyone, like if anyone try to hack this message, can't understand what is written inside this message, only the person who has the key can access this number, because it is a very complex like encryption that has happened. Okay, that is the difference between the cryptography and this other term that you are talking about. Okay, so let me know if you are able to understand the asymmetric key cryptography techniques, what are used, how to how this key exchange will happen, what is the advantage, what is the problems. Let me know if you're able to understand everything about asymmetric key cryptography. Then we'll move to the next topic, that is asymmetric key cryptography. uh, Thank you also. Okay, cool. So let's move to our next topic, and after that, I will not take much time because I guess it might be going over your head. So we'll talk about one topic called asymmetric key cryptography, and then we will connect tomorrow, and we'll talk about one-way hashing and digital signatures. Okay, what is digital signature and what is one-way hashing? We'll talk about this tomorrow. Okay, let's talk about the second type of cryptography, that is called asymmetric cryptography. Now, what is difference? How asymmetric? So, in as we talked, in asymmetric key cryptography, we have only one key. Okay, but in asymmetric cryptography, we have two key. One is public key, one is private key. Okay, and that's why asymmetric key cryptography is also known as asymmetric asymmetric cryptography is also known as public key cryptography. Okay, which is also known as public key cryptography. So symmetric key cryptography is known as private key cryptography. Asymmetric key cryptography is known as the public key cryptography, because it has two key architecture. Okay, which means asymmetric key has two key architecture. One key will be used for locking the message, and other key will be used for the unlocking the message. This is the example of asymmetric key cryptography. cryptography. In asymmetric cryptography, we need two key. We need two key to lock and which to encrypt and decrypt the message. Decrypt the message. Okay, which means so there will be a two key architecture, which means one will be a public key that will be used to encrypt the message, encrypt the message, encrypt the message, and then there will be a private key, private private key that will be used for decrypting the message, decrypting the message, message. Okay, so in asymmetric cryptography, we have two key mechanisms, which means one key will be used for encrypting the message, other will be used for decrypting the message, and so and we have two key architecture, which means one is public key, second is private key. Public key will be used for encrypting the message, and private key will be used for decrypting the message. When it comes to blockchain, so अगर blockchain if you're using the blockchain concept, if you're into blockchain, you might be knowing this. Blockchain में there is a two key mechanism. So blockchain के अंदर two key mechanism होता है, जिसमें एक public key होती है और एक क्या होती है, एक private key होती है, public key and private key that we have in ब्लॉकचेन. तो ब्लॉकचेन के अंदर ये हमारा प्राइवेट की पब्लिक की का आर्किटेक्चर हमारे ब्लॉकचेन के अंदर होता है. ठीक है, हाउ टू लर्न मोर इन डिटेल, आई विल सेंड यू दी वन like one link. You can go and read about that link. I guess that will be a very detailed one where you will get to know what is cryptography in detail. So there is a one complete book on cryptography. This is the, let me share you as well. So this is a complete book on cryptography. I'm just sharing the details over here, so you can go and read about it, or you can if you go to on YouTube channels, whenever I complete the session, I share all the like learning materials on this video when I upload it. Okay, so you will get all the learning materials from there only. Okay, so you don't worry about it, or you can also reach out to me via LinkedIn or Twitter. I will be there to help you out. So if you want to know anything, I will be there to help you. Okay, so don't worry about it. Okay, so let's talk about एसिमेट्रिक की क्रिप्टोग्राफी. सो अभी ये तो समझ में आ गया ना कि एसिमेट्रिक क्रिप्टोग्राफी में हमारे पास में दो की चाहिए, मतलब कि एक की से काम नहीं चलेगा. अब हमारे को अब दो की चाहिए. एक की दैट विल बी यूज्ड फॉर एनक्रिप्टिंग द मैसेज, अदर की विल बी यूज्ड फॉर डिक्रिप्टिंग द मैसेज. नाउ अब इस केस में काम कैसे होगा, लेट्स से अगेन एग्जांपल लेते हैं. हिमांशु मैं हूं, मेरे को एक मैसेज भेजना है हेलो. किसको भेजना है, अभिषेक को भेजना है. तो मैंने एक अभिषेक को मैसेज भेजा हेलो हेलो. तो मैंने किसको भेजा, अभिषेक को. तो अभिषेक को मैंने हेलो भेजा. नाउ हेलो भेजने से पहले मैं नॉर्मल चैनल नहीं यूज कर रहा हूँ, मैं एक सिक्योर चैनल यूज कर रहा हूँ, विच मीन आई एम यूजिंग अ सिक्योर चैनल. एंड उस सिक्योर चैनल में एसिमेट्रिक की क्रिप्टोग्राफी का कॉन्सेप्ट लगा हुआ है, विच मीन्स अब मेरे को इस मैसेज को एनक्रिप्ट करना पड़ेगा. तो इसके लिए मैंने एक की यूज की के. So now hello will be converted into cipher text. It can be anything. Let's say this will be a new message that is generated. Okay, so this is a new cipher text encrypted message is generated. Now it is a asymmetric key cryptography, which means अभिषेक को अब दूसरी की चाहिए होगी, which means के से वो मैसेज को अनलॉक नहीं कर पाएगा because it is not a symmetric key cryptography. Okay, it is a asymmetric key cryptography, which means Abhishek have to use a new key. So let's say Abhishek has a key called L. Okay, Abhishek used L key, and then he used that L key, that is a private key. Okay, Abhishek used this L private key and decrypted this message and converted into the hello, and he got to know that what I was trying to say. Okay, तो मैं क्या कहना चाहता हूं ये अभिषेक को मालूम चल गया, क्योंकि उसके पास में एक प्राइवेट की है और उसने उस प्राइवेट की को यूज किया, डेटा को अनलॉक किया, और ही गॉट टू नो दैट व्हाट आई वाज सेइंग. ओके, नाउ हाउ दिस विल हैपन. ओके, सो दिस के विल बी द पब्लिक की ऑफ माई. ओके, सो मेरी जो पब्लिक की होगी, तो मैं इस मैसेज की से, तो जो मेरी पब्लिक की होगी, I will use my public key to unlock the message. Okay, and Abhishek will use, and what will happen, and Abhishek, so yeah, and Abhishek has a private key of L, So Abhishek will use his private key to unlock the message. Okay, this is how asymmetric key cryptography work. Okay, so मैं अपनी की से उस मैसेज को लॉक करूंगा, that is my public key, and then I will then Abhishek will use his private key to unlock the message to understand what is written inside the message. And this is how asymmetric key cryptography work. Okay, so in asymmetric key cryptography we have two key architecture. One is public key, one is private key. One key will be used for encrypting the message, other key will be used for decrypting the message. Public key will be used for encrypting, private key will be used for decrypting the message. It is more secure. Now here what benefit we will get, again जैसे हमारा सिमेट्रिक की क्रिप्टोग्राफी में सबसे बड़ी प्रॉब्लम क्या थी, की एक्सचेंज करने की, अब की कैसे भेजेंगे. हियर वी डोंट हैव एनी प्रॉब्लम बिकॉज सबके पास अपने अपने की है, तो इसमें की भेजने की कोई जरूरत नहीं है, क्योंकि अक्षय के पास की है, मेरे पास की है, अक्षय को अपने की यूज करनी है, मेरे को मेरी की यूज करनी है. देयर इज नो डिपेंडेंसी नहीं है की के ऊपर, कि बिना की के ताला नहीं खुलेगा, बिकॉज यहाँ पर सबके पास में अपनी अपनी की है. जैसे कि घर में चार लोग रहते हैं, चार लोगों के पास में घर के दरवाजे की चाबी है, सो एनीवन कैन कम एंड ओपन द डोर एंड कैन गो इनसाइड. This is how this asymmetric cryptography work, where everyone has their own key to lock and unlock the message. So it is like very easy. It makes one it becomes more secure, क्योंकि यहाँ पर अब क्या हो गया कि आपको की भेजने के लिए आपको कोई दूसरा मेथड यूज नहीं करना पड़ेगा. आपको की भेजने में प्रॉब्लम नहीं होगी, आप आराम से मैसेज भेज सकते हो, क्योंकि यहाँ पर दो की है. आप एक बंदा लॉक कर देगा, दूसरा उसको खोल करके पढ़ लेगा. एंड दिस इज हाउ एसिमेट्रिक क्रिप्टोग्राफी वर्क. ओके, दीज आर द बेनिफिट दैट वी गेट. ओके, सो इसके एग्जांपल आ जाते हैं. अगर somebody ask you what are the example, तो SHA 256 SHA 256 एक algo है, that is a asymmetric algo that is used, and you can get more detail about this algos in the like on the blog that I've shared, and you can easily go and go search on Google as well if you want to more detail about it. तो asymmetric cryptography आप search करोगे तो you will get a good number of blog. But if you don't want to do that, okay, so I will share all the learning material once I will upload this video. You can go to the video and you can get to know all about these things over there. Okay, by the way, this is a very good course on cryptography by Simply Learn. Here you will get all the things that you want to know about asymmetric cryptography. They have a video version, they have a video plus the written version as well, so you can use this you can use this for लर्निंग. ओके, इफ यू लुक एट, देखो यहाँ पर भी इन्होंने वही चीज बताई है कि पब्लिक की यूज की हमने एनक्रिप्शन के लिए, प्राइवेट की से हमने इसको डिक्रिप्ट कर लिया, मैसेज को पढ़ लिया, विच मींस टू की मैकेनिज्म है यहाँ पर. ठीक है, सिंपली हो जाता है. नाउ इसका सिंपल एग्जांपल अगर जो उन्होंने देकर रखा है वो मेल बॉक्स एग्जांपल देकर रखा है, दैट इज वेरी इजी एग्जांपल. ओके, सो मेल बॉक्स एग्जांपल इन्होंने दिया हुआ है, विच मींस यू कैन easily go to the like अगर मेल बॉक्स आर्किटेक्चर देखें, व्हाट इज मेल बॉक्स. सो अगर इफ यू have used this postal box, so in postal box you can only send the post, but you can't remove it because you don't have the key, because key is with the postman. When postman will come, he will use his key, take the message out, and he will share the details to whom it need to be shared. Okay, so this is how asymmetric cryptography work, which means आपके पास अपने की है, उसके पास अपने की है, आपने अपने की से मैसेज को लॉक किया, you send the message and that particular person will come, he will use his key and unlock the message and get the detail and share with the other people to whom that message need to be shared. Okay, so this is how asymmetric cryptography work. So let me know now if you have any doubt, because we have covered both the topics, symmetric and asymmetric cryptography, and let me know if you have any other details. We'll talk about it. Else we'll talk tomorrow about two topics, that is one-way hashing and the digital signature, and after that we will move to the Bitcoin architecture, and that is very interesting topic that we are going to cover. So I just want everyone, whosoever is here, don't miss the upcoming topics, because Bitcoin architecture will help you in understanding the whole concept of Bitcoin, why Bitcoin was there, how these things are done. Yeah, cool, no problem. So what we can do tomorrow, first we will complete the one-way hashing. Okay, once one-way hashing is done, we'll complete the digital signature. Okay, and then we will again try to do this symmetric and asymmetric cryptography again, or we can do one. So what I'm thinking, that before we move to the next week, I will keep one particular 1 hour to 2 hour session only for doubt sessions. So there we can take the doubts, whatever doubts you have in your mind, and we will try to answer. I will try to answer those doubts for you. Okay, so we'll keep a doubt sessions separately. Okay. So don't worry about it. So I will try to fix it up so that you don't mess it up. Okay. Even if you have any other doubt, I'm there to help you out. So LinkedIn is always available for you all. So LinkedIn pay, you can always ping me. I will be there to help you out. That I'm just sharing you the links where you can get connect with me. Okay. So here is the links. Okay. You will get all the details about myself from here, and whatever channel suits you the best, you can join me over there, and I will try to answer everything. Okay. And I guess that's it from my side for today, and thank you everyone for joining in. Before we end the sessions, let me know if you have any other doubts to ask.